Koki is always going to connect, because in order to pull the wave, you have to make them trail behind you, so you're never going to miss. It's just very easy for crit here. Some nice bowling from 9 Class Thero, a little bit of mana burn coming out. Yep. But overall...
Enjoys his bowling. We'll see if he's as effective as he was game one. Of course, playing a different hero in all 3 games now. Farm Snake King can get this game, like you talked about, not only just that winning streak, but this is a position... Well, typically it's a position 4 that will just get right-click items, like a Dragon Lance, Hurricane Pike, and then that's when they certainly start to hurt.
There's a world here where you go a lot of auras. You can go Solar Crest Pipe.
Crit. Bit of trouble, but the Rocket Rock's doing massive damage from Skeeter onto both DM and 9 Class. He has to dive away. That's something you do have to worry about if you're the P-Vision side. So, DM, we have not seen him on the Phoenix so far this series. We have seen a decent amount of this hero, though, as an off-laner. Has felt pretty strong now. Nor going against a little shredder of crit, but it does feel like the Cookie is going to hit with the Rocket Barrage to follow. DM has no dive. This is a kill going away of Skeeter. Nothing 9 Class can do here. But it does feel like these Phoenixes get enough levels as a core that the little shredder only has slight impact in the game.
It's very much contextual. I think in this game, between Little Shredder and Gyro with BKB, you definitely have tools of taking down the egg. I was wondering what DM was going to do with that helm, because he was waiting on his quick buy, but he does commit to the helm of the Dominator instead of potentially going Veil. Yeah, not too surprising.
Promise broken, it seems, yeah.
Now, Estini, in his defense, he was already out on the stage, and when you've left the player booth, you can no longer talk to the players.
That's true.
So they might not know that there was this.
Maybe if they check their voicemail, they'll see a message. Very important, but
check him PC.
No one now level 6, along with Malorine. Are you expecting a slower start to this game, or like how does the Juggernaut play? Like, you go for a farming item, and at what point do you join the fights?
It's like going to be a battle from game to game. I think there's so... It's a hard question to... Whoa, hang on. Oh. Surprise. Storm got away. I don't know why I got excited. I think it's a hard question to answer about Jug, because a lot of how this hero plays very much comes down to how other lanes go. I think it's one of the less obvious carries. Because in my experience, it's small margins that you're making your moves on. Some other carries are just way more overwhelming level 6, and it's just obvious you want to go through the gate and put pressure, or others are way more passive, where you're clearly staying in your lane and going jungle. Jug is a little bit of both, where if there's a good opportunity, you can play around it. I think a lot of that comes down to how good DM's game is going to be. You want to rotate to a Phoenix that's ready to fight.
Some trouble.
There we go.
No one shows up. The Cookie. The Cog's actually on the outside. He gets hit by another one. A big dive coming in from DM, and they will clean up Skeeter. Has 9 Class, one more right click, so there is a trade of sorts, but Malorine actually walked up here, I believe.
Late to the party.
Yeah, a little bit too late to find a connection. No one is relatively low on mana, though.
Oh, can Crit get this?
He's going to try to go for the 7-minute
There's no way he just walks past and gets this, right?
9 Class makes his way close by.
He's not going to get it.
Yeah, will have to back away now. In fact, might die for his troubles. This is a level 4 versus a level 2. No one does have mana to zip up if needed, and he'll do just that. So Crit will be brought down. A good attempt from him. Tries to deny himself onto the creep. Not going to happen.
That would actually have worked if he wasn't slowed by the Fire Spirits on his attack speed.
Yeah, that's true.
Couldn't get the swing in.
Kind of looked like a replay of the last game where 9 Class had to give up the Wisdom Shrine, and he was like level 2 at that point, I believe.
Yeah. This is a better start for him. Yeah, for sure. Going for the Tranquil Boots here on the Clockwork, so he will have plenty of resources to trade with. Has the Infused Raindrops as well to have a little bit more staying power. No one?
Getting some of the damage here. 9 Class forcing Crit back, so the Cookie does nothing. Face Edict applied to no one.
Reed did get the rune, though.
I mean, that is one benefit, is the Juggernaut. I mean, he has Blade Fury for the BKB, essentially. Face Edict maybe for the Storm Spirit this game, but might have to buy it anyway at some point.
Malorine is bullying him here. Really trying to put on that pressure. I say Malorine, of course it is Amar. Yep, same thing. Easy to get them confused as they play all the same heroes.
This is true, and that is the true power of Falcons. They've taken advantage of this time and time again. TP mid lane, though. Good pressure applied to the tier 1 from Falcons. They'll have to back away now. say that. Of course, Malrine has that facet. Allows him to blind towers by hitting them. Very powerful for pushing. I do wonder if that is going to be changed in the future. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't see why this needs to blind towers.
Wow, that was a shriek.
Yep.
Okay.
Gets his level 6 now on DM. Maybe that's why he's happy. Like, I am online. Nice stack here for no one to build upon. But similar to the previous game, you mentioned it, 9 class had a tough game on that Centaur and was low level. This isn't much better. He just cracked level 4 minute 9. It's going to take a while before he really gets there.
This, I don't know, it does feel a lot different than he's Clockwork.
This time he has a hero that's more traditionally good at playing from a slight disadvantage than Centaur is. He also did get some experience there from the stack and the D ward, so it all adds up and helps getting there.
Oh, DM. Shredder doing work against
He has to egg here if he wants to live, probably.
Most likely will have to. If he's coming, though, he'll withstand the damage and be just fine.
Crick will force the reaction. He keeps trailing him with the threat of the cookie. They bring into Collis for protection. But once again, it is Falcons picking up the pace here. Pace,
no one gets it. Beautifully done. No one. Applying so much pressure to Malrine right now, but it looks like 9 class is more worse for wear as the creeps show up along with Snaking and even Skeeter making his way.
Sandstorm's too strong. They can't do anything. I thought maybe they would have more damage in the tank, but of course, level 4 Clockwork, I don't know why I got my hopes up. He's got 2 in cogs, so his damage is negligible. You're running in the Enchantress next to him with a heal, no problem. Yeah, mid-tower will be gone in a moment. That blind lasting for so long.
It's pretty crazy.
How long is that? 5 seconds.
Huh. Tier 1 tower secured for Falcons. 3K lead as they are continuing the pressure overall.
Starting
carrying over from this game, too.
Exactly. It's the same recipe. They forced 9 class off of his most obnoxious heroes onto something, a melee 4 without the same playmaking as Monkey King and the Slar, arguably, and they just run them over in the early laning stage. They've taken 2 towers already. All 3 of their cores are happy and farming. And this time around, my biggest concern for P-Vision in this game is how long do you have to wait? In the previous game, they kind of felt like they couldn't fight for 20 minutes and then they lost. In this game, when do you come online? Are you strong enough when, now that Phoenix is level 7 and you have Storm ulti, can you bring Jug to fights? Because when it comes to just raw team fights, Falcon's lineup is really tough. Tango roll, FP Sandstorm, everything about Gyro, Snapfire's massive AoE damage. And one of the most obnoxious things about snaking on the Ench that we have seen for so many games, not as many this tournament, he's a really good scout on this hero. Just runs out in front, tanks up, becomes the primary target, the enemy team commits so much stuff on him, and then his team just cleans up. So how do you enter a fight correctly will be the big challenge here for P-Vision. This will help.
Damage rune for no one.
That's a big opening, potentially.
You can see the lead continuing to expand for Falcon's side. Of course, Satanic doesn't have his Battle Fury yet, and that is when he'll feel a little bit more comfortable in... I mean, I don't know if he even wants to join a fight, but if he has to, he technically could. Snaking.
Gonna put it to the test here. How tanky is he?
9 class will get to slow with the rocket. Won't be able to get him inside the cog. Snaking in a 1 versus 4. He's surviving for now, but not for long. They do get the kill as Malrine finds a bigger target. And the center portal with the Mortimer. Satanic uses the Blade Fury. He has the healing ward up, but it's not going to be enough. Crit takes him out in the end. That is a huge kill for Falcons, and like you said, it required 4 members of P-Vision to take out the Enchantress in the top, and that's your trade.
I wonder if Snaking could have maybe played that a little bit better with taking out a cog. Probably not because of Fire Spirits, but they got 2 cog knockbacks, and in spite of that, the kill took like 15 seconds with the 4 of them. That is worrisome.
Yeah, it feels like they don't have a ton of damage yet. Of course, the Stormster is going to be the most of it without Juggernaut showing up. I mean, it does feel like this is maybe a game. As Gonzalez has a false promise himself. Amar, nice disruptor from no one. Gets off the Electric Vortex just in time. Amar able to get off his ult in the end as he attempts to get out the dodge. TP. Looks like he'll be fine. No hook shot yet. 9 class. Actually pretty close. That would have been a huge pickup.
I think that would have been a kill a year ago. when I believe cogs placed on top of that roll would interrupt it. Do you remember? You played a lot of Pango. You could interrupt it with like fissure and cogs.
Was that only a year ago though?
Maybe it was more, but
I feel like that's been
maybe Nine Class was hoping it would got bugged again in the most recent patch.
You never know.
Maybe wishful thinking. Not the case though. This game has no bugs anymore.
That's right. We're out of beta finally.
Fixed them all.
No one has gotten, I think, every single rune. Am I wrong? Like, this is crazy.
I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't been able to do much at all with it. 5k lead for Falcon. Skeeter on the outskirts of the map with his Crystallis in tow. Aghanim Scepter's going to be next. Already about 1,000 into that, so he is having himself a good old time. In fact, all 3 cores for Falcons. Top net worth in the game. But this is where things potentially can change. Satanic finally gets his farming item in the battlefield.
Yeah. I think the way it's going to change is that he will farm faster and everything else will be the same. That counts as a change, then I'll
For him it is.
Sure. He's like, guys, I got my item. I'm going to continue farming. Good luck.
Would you agree with me in the fact that Satanic is one of those carries, as you call it, getting pursued?
Connecting.
Amar, Faith Edict applied, but
no
doesn't have false promise, so he is down and out. But Satanic does feel like one of those carries that could get, I mean, dependent on the hero, of course, but feels like he has put his team on his shoulders quite a few times in the past.
He's
one
been
of those like old school type carries, it feels like.
He's been one of the most stable players of the tournament. I can't really recall any game where I was like, man, Satanic really dropped the ball in this game. Like, he's had games that are tougher than others. This could be shaping up to be one of them, but it begs the question, how much could you really have done with the hero you were playing? If he was convincing them to pick Jugger and it turns out that was a bad pick, then maybe you could talk about that, but his overall play in the game so far has been quite solid, given the circumstances. As we are looking at that about 5,000 lead for Falcons, worth noting, almost all of it is in supports. There's a very big lead. Ench is 1,200 ahead of the clock, and Snapfire about 2k ahead of the Oracle. So the brunt of the lead is in those supports, which it's worth keeping an eye on, because there's going to be some extra utility items.
Satanic has to use the Blade Fury. Amar continuing to roll. We'll focus on the support first, it seems, and the epicenter reserved for Ducalis as well.
Oh, he's not done yet now,
He does get clipped by Amar. Uses his short as well. Satanic. He's going to get some help in the form of no one, though. Amar maybe overstepping his bounds a little bit too much. Call down, though. Skeeter makes his way over. Amar blocks off now. Gets the hook shot from 9 Class as well. Amar looks to be dead. It's so much damage applied to it. Now no one will drop as well. The kiss is raining from above. Crit. Double kill. 3 for nothing. Falcons somehow lose no one.
And so do P-Vision.
I knew you were going to do that.
That is... Oh, that's the dream fight. This is the dream fight for any hero that can generate barrier, is that you tank all of the damage, and then you get a very last-second barrier off there. Not only do you survive, but the enemy team used all of their resources trying to kill you. No one depleted his entire mana pool, used hookshot, used egg, and you didn't kill a singular hero. The map is falling apart fast. No one, unfortunately, jumps in and blocks his own camp to add insult to injury here. A little unfortunate there on the timing. Uh-oh.
It's feeling a lot like Game 2. Now, the question is, do you force the issue with Satanic joining a fight before he gets a second item? Like, can you even afford to do that? Because he has not been in anything. We haven't seen a single Omni Slash.
Well, he was in that fight, and he didn't have enough mana to use both of his spells because he got swashbuckled once.
Well, that's part of the fact that they're the ones getting gone, right? They're not doing the initiating. They have 9 Class with a hook shot. They have Storm Spirit. They have Dive from DM. They have a lot of ways to get on top of Falcons, but they're just not providing the opportunities.
I think you have to play keep away for the foreseeable future. I just don't see it. I don't think... I mean, it's kind of strange to see these 3 games in this series play out, and it feels like the losing team has the same problem every game. Like, damage issues, the inability to pierce through and win the team fight, and then you're playing this keep away that... really difficult. Yeah, Crit. Okay.
Crit is going to be fine. It's
good bowling.
Some good bowling going on here. Amar, though, not too happy with this exchange as 9 Class. Looks like he is going to be the one to ultimately follow. The DM is close by, but just throwing out some Fire Spirit as Amar gets the killing blow.
This is going to be Ducalis TV for the next 10 minutes. If you If you want to look at some riveting support gameplay as an observer right now, you follow the Oracle and you notice how close he stays to Jugger. He is going to literally just stand behind him everywhere he goes, because there's no better play. Okay, he's following Satanic. I've got my eye on it.
Yes, keep us surprised. They have the Sherlock for the storm. No one's dead again. Falcons, 11K lead at 19 minutes.
It's a huge problem here because even if the Oracle conceptually is really powerful at counter-initiating these moves, you have to pick your poison because Storm and Jug can't farm in the same area. Then you're losing on efficiency. So you're kind of, as Oracle, it's one of these damn it if you do, damn it if you don't moment where you protect the Jug, he's not the target, too bad, Storm died. You protect the Storm, Jug gets jumped, he dies. And there's no obvious way for Dakalis to know where Falcons' move is going to be because they have no vision on the map except around the mid-tier 1 tower and at the bottom, which is not where they're farming. So every move Falcons is making is very untelegraphed for P-Vision. And as a result, it's very, very hard to play the Oracle this game. Man, look at it. They're 2 supports. The combined net worth of Dakalis and 9 class is lower than both enemy supports individually. Man, they are so far ahead on the supports. It's crazy.
They're so used to playing with the Monkey King and Slur. It feels like they don't know how to play Dota anymore. This is a pretty crazy state of affairs.
It's honestly, it's a valid concern. If you get so used to a specific playstyle that is hero dependent, 9 class can play a lot of heroes really, really well. It's not like it's Monkey King, Slark, or Buzz, right? We've seen him have outstanding performances on tons of heroes, but when you play that archetype strategy 8 games in a row, and then you suddenly get thrown out of it, and things don't go according to plan, it might take a little bit of warming up. Fortunately for them, of course, this is not an elimination game, so there would be another chance tomorrow if things go wrong. But P-Vision, of course, didn't come here today to lose, and well, in this game, they're not exactly doing a good job at avoiding that.
Yeah, the shard ended up going
They're not going to get a wisdom either. I mean, the whole map is just on lock, right? You lose the shard, you're losing both wisdoms most likely. You have taken 1 tower at 21 minutes. Maybe mid will fall here. I'm not sure Falcons really care that much.
Well, Malrine seems to.
He could deny
give them
it.
an inch.
Just deny it to remove more gold.
Yep, he'll do just that. And the question only remains for Falcons is when is the first Roche attempt? I mean, their team is not crazy good at it, but it's okay. I mean, the Enchantress can slow it down. You got the minus armor of Little Shredder and Tango pretty good as well.
It's not that good at killing it, but it's really good at controlling it. Yeah. So if P-Vision do try to access the fight, as long as Ench is tanking, you're not really taking much of a risk. Snaking can kind of tank it forever. So, but not the plan here. They're hoping to find a lone Satanic or no one down here, but not going to be the case. They still get a good ward out. Now, no one might show himself on the next wave, which could be his death. Or on the ward below him. He's actually playing pretty much perfectly around Falcon's vision right now. But
he's not farming.
Playing perfectly around the vision means standing still. So it's not very useful for the progression of the game. Satanic somehow is almost top net worth, though. Honestly, really impressive that he's able to find this space on the map.
Feels like he always finds a way.
But it comes at the cost of other heroes, and here is that anticipated Roche. Not really much P-Vision can really do about it. They can scout it with rockets all they want, but I don't think they're going to try to access it.
No. Absolutely not. I don't believe we've seen Egg, correct?
We have.
We have?
We saw the one supernova when they tried to kill Amar.
Okay. No, we haven't seen Omni Slash.
Okay, you're just going by one spell at a time and hoping you're right?
That's right, 50-50. Aegis goes to Skeeter. How many buildings can they take with this? There's 2 tier 2s remaining, so I assume at the very least they want to do that. But how's their high ground at this stage versus game number 2, where they were able to pretty much take it uncontested?
It's definitely worse. This time you don't have DK Chen, but you can... This is the type of game that could follow the classic Falcons recipe from a half a year ago, where you're just constricting the enemy team on the map and winning by 1k GPM. Because I think going high ground very early in this one compared to the previous one would be a mistake. I'm not really concerned about your ability to scale and your ability to win later team fights, but I am worried that if you go high ground too early, you could somehow lose a fight against a Storm buyback, for example, or going a little bit too deep, setting yourself up for Omni Splash. Just unnecessary. Just keep winning the map.
Satanic working his way towards the eventual butterfly. They did spot him here, and you can see the scan now coming out from P-Vision. We'll have to get
smoking to run away.
Yeah, this is the state of affairs for the P-Vision side. No one is actually camping up. They might want to take this fight. I know that maybe Gyro isn't nearby, but he is. Satanic, he's going to show himself. And will attempt to run away. Peter's trying to wonder if this is a trap of any sort. But they don't have to worry about like black hole, anything like that, as Amar won't find no one who will be able to TP out. So just trying to keep things at bay from the P-Vision side. As they push that top lane, which is the last remaining Tier 2 tower.
I'm just looking at Skitter's inventory. Okay, there we go. He swapped around. He had a backpack BKB instead of one.
Oh.
There's some efficiency there being lost. Doesn't matter, though. Okay, maybe they just go for it. I mean, this is...
You call it attempted TP. Ooh, does get out.
Wow.
Very close.
Okay. Is
Now,
this a siege or not? They could just be pushing in the waves and keeping control. They are posing like they want to force something. And, well, Skitter is a little bit timid, but here we go.
Now, Homie missed the right now onto Satanic. Tagging himself from Skitter. They're going to get that sunlight. There's a lot of damage. There's a false promise on the Satanic at the last moment. And that required very little from Falcon.
Yeah, they used a homing missile and a cookie.
That is insane. And now the high ground attempt. They do not have Healing Ward as it's about to run out. They don't have false promise anymore. As Amar jumping in pretty deep, gets the swap shuffle, able to bounce down to the low ground. Skeeter is getting a little bit low as the Mortimer's kisses onto 9 class with the Fate's Edict will be able to mitigate all of the damage. Now BKB online for Malrain, yeah, for now. And that Aegis, I mean, still 2 minutes to get some Nature's attendance for Skeeter and maybe have a round 2. But this will buy some time for Satanic to get that butterfly. Does feel like that is certainly not enough.
He needs that in Ags. Yeah, maybe.
The Ags does feel... I mean, we saw Chrysalis play it without Ags, which I want to talk to you about, because
I feel like that was a mistake in that game, personally.
It feels like Jug is so hard to play without Ags.
I would agree 100% with that. On a pro level, I think it's almost an essential item every single game, but... There's always going to be outliers. I don't think that game was the
spotted along with Snake King. It's going to be a good pickoff for P-Vision. It's something. They get a kill. Amar, he's going to take an Omni Splash with the creep of that back. He bounces back to Amar. Satanic completely snipes him. RNG does in favor of P-Vision for that particular moment, at least.
They did a good.
Let's see how much time this buys. I mean, that's basically the Aegis, 45 seconds. Yep. So P-Vision showing some life in this game 3.
Falcons are in a position where this is not that big of a deal, but...
Alright, Effie onto the call it. Satanic Blade fearing away. Has the butterfly at base.
The thing is, even if that's not that big of a deal in terms of the overall progression of the game, just a little bit of a morale boost doesn't hurt. Like, feeling like you can do something in the game successfully has to be nice. You've genuinely made 0 successful moves for like 15 minutes, and you finally find 2 pickoffs and get your Jug to that butterfly. The thing about this game for Jug that's a little bit tricky, though, is if Oracle is not in a good position at all times, and especially if he dies, I think Jug can just get bursted by spells. Even through spin, he can die. There's so much magic damage from the Sand King, there's so much physical damage from the Pango. Kisses are also going to matter, all of it. It adds up. Even though you have 80% magic resist increase, it's still, like, a lot of the times when you see Jug survive in spin, they get away on, like, a beat stick of health, right? It's not enough here. There is just so damn much output. Now almost a satanic for Skeeter, looking to go to the grand finals by killing P-Vision with their carry.
And your puns are on point today.
That's right. I talked to Lacoste earlier. It's that aura. Had a good conversation with him in the green room for about 10 seconds. Then we nodded at each other, and there was that transfer of power that I needed for the day.
Keep it up.
And then he left and never talked to me again.
Yep, that's the Lacoste style. Love the guy.
Shout out to Karen Flax.
500 gold away for the Aghanim Scepter on Amar, and then he's going to go for the Ghost Scepter so he doesn't have to deal with the Omni Splash anymore, which would mean a Nullifier at some point will be needed for Satanic, but of course he has bigger fish to fry. He needs this Aghanim Scepter first.
I mean, for what it's worth, P-Vision aren't losing anymore for a bit. They lost by, I want to say, 500 GPM for a 10-minute stretch. It's kind of flatlined now. Storm is going to get his BKB. Jug is going on his way to that Axe. He's already halfway. You're keeping this afloat. And I think if Falcons could look back on the last 5 minutes of this game, they would feel like they slipped up a little bit because they could have maybe kept this lead growing.
Right.
So, in relative terms, this is actually a pretty good 5 minutes for P-Vision that I would consider a clear win. Yes, you are behind, but hope dies last in this game.
Satanic is spotted. Nice play, Fury. They're going to continue to pursue, though, as Amar with the Rolling Thunder will eventually catch up. Ducalis is there, healing word place. They're going to get some more TPs attention. There's the Omni Splash, though, on top of Amar. There's a lot of them applying to Amar himself, but the cookie is going to help him survive. Satanic touches in front of the blade. There's no one. We'll try to zip to kill off Amar, but this is not going to be enough mana. Amar, so much shield, so much lowness, he's going to be able to heal threat. No, does end up going down to the cost of the Oracle, though, is now reached. Big hook shot from 9 Class. Gets 2 stuck in the cog. 0 follow-up, though. Truly unfortunate for P-Vision, but ends up being a 1-for-1. No one running out of mana, has to get back to base.
It's another good exchange for P-Vision. Sure, it's not an overwhelming win, but it's, again, something. You just keep it alive. You don't have to win a big fight to come back in this game. If you can get even trades or slight victories here and there, we're approaching the point where Juggernaut can start actually becoming scary. The problem for this hero in a lot of the games that we've seen in the last half a year to a year is you kind of, sometimes your power curve is a little weird. Like, you can be good in some lanes, then you enter this stage in the mid-game where you're like kind of meh. But when you get to 4, 5, 6 items, this hero can be a complete beast. One of the few carries that can also kill a hero like Ench in a matter of seconds, which could matter here. I've seen so many games where Snaking ends up winning the game for his team by just soaking up abilities, not dying. Juggernaut, not a problem. He's going to cut through Ench in a few swings with the Axe, which is now complete.
Yeah, Swiss
Scotty next.
Ready. So Malrine has the Ghost Scepter against the Jug. Amar, like we talked about, that's the next item for him. Does Juggernaut have to get, does Satanic have to get the Nullifier, or can the Phoenix actually get it? That could be a potential pickup.
I think the Phoenix one is just too difficult to pull off. Like, you have to be able to be in range for the target that Jug is on. So realistically, he probably needs to get it himself if he sees enough of a problem.
Malrine, going to be able to get the first strike onto no one, but there's the full promise to keep him alive. And the X on the low ground, no one will be able to zip away safely. Snaking is destroyed, but now Satanic completely isolated from his team. Burrows right now, right on top of him with the call down of bow, but he still has the blaze here. He's actually doing a lot of damage. Snakes to the faster than Skeeter, getting caught up by no one. He's dead. And now the Sunray healing everybody up to Mortimer. So double Burrows strike, and now Falcons will be able to win the fight in the end. 4 for 2. It looked pretty good for P-Vision, but they just run out of steam at the end.
Finally, an unpredictable fight. I think neither team really understood the state of the fight. They're just going in there, throwing in everything they had. The key difference maker in this fight is Snaking separating himself from the gyro, eating the Omni Slash alone and dying. If he does not create distance from Skitter there, he just dies with Satanic ready. He would have had no target to hit. Look at this replay. First of all, that rocket flare going to cancel off some blink daggers and the nice save from Ducalis. But keep your eyes now on the Jug. Gets off the Swift Slash, and then this Omni. If Snay does not get over here and end that Omni, Skitter is dead on the spot as well, and the fight is just over. Now instead, Skitter gets to get all of his output through, and tanking no one for a good amount of time, giving his teammates additional space that was needed. And the kiss is just beautiful now. Good spacing from Crit, getting a lot of impact out there. And the grand prize will be an Aegis, but this one is not going to go to Skeeter unless they kill it slowly. He's not able to take it. Well, they are definitely killing it slowly. This is a Mar out of the pit, so I guess this is deliberately delaying it. Looks like it. They want that Aegis on the gyro. And Skitter almost has the Daedalus as well, so big level up for the upcoming fight.
Skeeter will get the goodies. Roche banner as well for Mr. Snaking.
CEO Gyro arriving, taking the credit for all the team's hard work.
Yep. He dies, they win team fight. Good stuff. Satanic looking for the Scotty next. Do you agree with that? Obviously, a very good item, but it feels like in these stages of the game, this item could make or break their potential for the comeback. So these ones are really important.
I would kind of like a refresher, honestly.
Okay.
I think the problem here is that he's going to throw out his Swift Flash and his ult, and then he's going to struggle to stay in the fight after that. So I think Refresher would be one option. The other one, you talked about the Nullifier. I think that was an interesting idea as well. Scotty is a very nice all-round item, and perhaps the logic is with this, he gets way more value out of Healing Ward, he gets more value out of Sunray, he gets more value out of the Oracle save, because there's just so much more to get through. But being tankier on Jug doesn't necessarily convert to teamfight wins if you can't kill the heroes while you survive.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit worried that Falcons are just going to kite him with multiple Ghost Scepters, with Cookie, Glimmer, Force Staff. He needs a way to connect on heroes, and I don't think you can rely on Storm to constantly zip in and find them for you.
Yeah, I think it's not the fact that the Scotty is bad per se, but it's more about you might not be able to get another item this game. Like the game may end
it's a
with
legit
Falcons
concern
lead right now in this Aegis advantage. Yeah, now a refresher for Malrine.
He is so decked out. Very strong right now. I think this is part of the reason why the pros have largely strayed away from Juggernaut. It's just itemization is proving to be a challenge in a lot of games. You're looking at it now and you see Satanic is rich and can buy all the stuff in the world, and you still feel like you need your next 2 items, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that you can sit on 23k net worth and still be unhappy, but holding the high ground, hoping that Falcons are going to overstep, but not the case. And even if Gyro were to do so, you have to get through the 2 lives with BKB and Satanic. Tall order. And now they're going to advance, but they're doing it together this time, so Division have given up a bit of ground. Snaking going to lead the charge. A tough kill. Pike, Pipe, and Drums.
Now, one thing to consider is plenty of buybacks right now. For the side of Division. Hook shot right now on the Snaking, but a cookie to keep him alive. Satanic's already used the Blade Furies. He is now retreating. 9 class is the first to die. Does have the buyback. P-Vision want to continue? Likely not, as no one's going to push the wave. And he is going for a big ticket item into the Aghanim Scepter, the blue hole, as we like to call it, DM. We'll take some damage, but we'll get back to base.
That Enchantress situation is the perfect example of just standard snaking.
We spot it out. The zip in. Gyro takes the brunt of the damage to start things out. Roche banner applied. Only 2 hits away from dying, which would be pretty big. There's a fortification to start things out. No one zips in, gets it, and exits it very successfully. And now the creeps can die, but the tower will fall. Minute 40 on the Aegis. Falcons not having as easy a time going high ground as we saw in game number 2. Satanic, extremely scary, has 4k in the bank as well, so very close to his next item.
And no one could buy the full Ags if he wants to take the risk and not have buyback, which...
Buyback Storm is so good, though.
It is. The Ags could also lead to a big fight, though. You kind of feel like Falcons as heroes a lot of the time are kind of stacking on top of each other. Time class.
That was a Swift Flash, actually. The Ghost Scepter comes out.
Yeah. I've got my eyes on Satanic's itemization. He hasn't changed it yet. You saw the Ench attempt. He doesn't feel like he can Omnislash because the kill takes too long. Ench is going to pike away. Maybe you jump over to another hero with Ghost Scepter and then you're just dead.
Yeah, Skeeter going to secure the range barracks. Can they get the melee? 45 seconds on the Aegis right now. Omni missile, it will hit. It's going to take considerable damage, but there's a Faith Edict. Mitigate the rest of the max damage. Swift Slash Peter, there's the epicenter. Perfect combination from Malrine. Looks like they're not going to help 9 class. First to fall. No one already popping the BKB. Finds some pressure out of the gyrocopter. 30 seconds on the Aegis. No creeps though, so backdoor protection is here. Do they have enough damage to actually get through this barracks? Finally, it comes to be. And Falcons gets their first barracks of the game.
Outworld staff is just something else against Jug.
True.
It's such a hard counter. He switch slashes Skitter. Skitter presses one button and then it ends the switch slash or the Omni slash if there's no secondary target. So as long as Gyro is separated from his teammates, if he can't die in a stun lock, he can always just bait Jug. True. Just waste out one of the abilities. An item that we generally see a lot of pros pick up in a lot of games, and a lot of the time, honestly, it feels like a little bit underwhelming. But against Jug, it's so easy to use correctly. I think part of what makes Outworld Staff interesting is the skill cap of it is very, very high. It's kind of like old Monkey King Mischief, where you're trying to dodge, one attack at the perfect timing or whatever. Well, similar to Mischief in general, I should say. But yeah, against Jug, it's just obvious.
Yeah, having 3 is pretty nice for the Falcon side, have to say. Good RNG on the neutrals.
Refresher Phoenix.
Yes, that is a definite big-ticket item. And no one actually opted to finish Parasma instead of going for the blue hole.
Okay. I think the call they made was we don't have enough damage to kill a single hero. We need the damage from Storm.
Yeah, Swift Slash actually based out the Outworld stat. As no one zips in, zips out.
He can't go on anyone. They have too good formation and good spacing here.
Epicenter, that's a lot of damage. Can they get the saves on the Satanic? Gets off the Omni Slash at the last moment. He buys up the rest of the team. No one pops BKB. On top of the stage, through the first ball. Satanic in a lot of trouble later. He has a false promise to play. Will attempt to get out. Mortimer's not going to reach him. Malrine's super low on HP. For all that, it was a 1-for-1 with a buyback coming out from Ducalis. Satanic back to relatively good HP levels. The zip from no one won't find one support, and Amara gets away safely.
That was such a heads-up play from Malrine, but just not quite enough. He manages to find the angle through the Jug and threatening Oracle in the backline at the same time with the Pango. So Ducalis has to ult himself, but Satanic does live through it. That time around, the Scotty made a big difference. I think he might have died with a Nullifier, for example, needed the extra tankiness.
A small little detail, obviously they have the tools to deal with the Omni Slash, but when they grouped up, the cleave is no joke on the Omni Slash. That was a lot of damage coming out from Satanic.
Part of why the Axe and Storm could be interesting too, but I understand no one's perspective of buying the Parasma, because you're kind of struggling to kill a singular target that's isolated, and that's what Falcons is taking advantage of. So if the Storm has that extra bit of output, perhaps you can bring down the first guy and break the fight open.
He's not far away already, so 3,500 gold in the bank. Of course, buyback is a very important thing to hold on to.
If Falcons were to find Ducalis now and kill him, it could end the game to kill the 5. Because I think the only reason P-Vision can defend in the fashion that they are is that there's constantly this false promise on backup for the Jug. Otherwise, you can just pile on him and kill him. Yeah, with everything you have, but they're unable to. Ducalis' buyback being forced there, though, should open up the map. Now you have to play exceptionally carefully as P-Vision. Tormentor will go to Skeeter.
And that's all 5 shards now for Falcon.
I don't know where I'm at right now with no one, if you should buy out or save buyback. I kind of feel like you have to all in and buy that Axe and hope for the best. Satanic is queuing up MKB in an attempt to try to deal more with the Gyro. Guess you could make a case that Gyro is not your primary target this game and you're trying to break open the fight by killing the other heroes, but again, the problem, the Ghost Scepters, they got 3 of them, and Ench has Outworld. It's not easy out there. It's about to hit level 25, though.
Because you don't really have a solution to the Outworld staff at all, because Nullifier's not going to do anything. All you can do is stun lock.
Send an email to Gabe Knoll. The best solution you have is to try to make a case for it.
I have to say, the Outworld staff, even though I thought it was going to be a terrible item in this patch, everybody's going for it. It's felt underwhelming, but against like,
it's just so good against Jug.
It's just a hard counter.
It's the best hero in the game to have it against. So, unsurprisingly.
That's why he hasn't been picked that much. Now we know.
It added to the pile of problems, right? There goes Roche.
Yep, another Roche for Falcons. Aegis, Cheese, Refresher Shard, Roche banner.
Who do you give the shard to? Probably the Pango. Yep.
MKB is what Satanic went for.
And they already have a wave all the way down here. So I think this is just straight up to the high ground. Skitter is going to perfectly line this up with a level 25 as well, get the additional flak cannon attacks, or the cooldown rather. So now that's down to a 16-second cooldown. A lot of pressure about to be put here on some
yeah.
Can they hold? This
Lots
is
of
the
buybacks available.
biggest moment of the game. This is such a hard defense.
All the force staff nicely done onto the gyro. Got in a lot of trouble. They can pull on the side. Skeeter able to get the arrow staff though, and 9 Class is the first to fall. Big Egg with the Sunray, but Skeeter is being able to heal through this quite easily. As Mallory does get stunned by the Egg. Now gets Cookie to the low ground. Falcons A-OK. Force the buyback on the 9 Class. Now they can reset. Roche banner will be cleaned up. There's a damage rune on the bot side of the river. Not sure if they have vision there.
That was egg number 1. And a buyback on Flux. So now both supports, really good targets for Falcons to take down. And they will spot it. And they will bottle it from Alreen. So likely to wait for the Epicenter to get back. You got the Dazoon Blood right, by the way. Not sure if you mentioned that. Luckily for you, I did not.
Extra AoE for Mallory. Probably the best tier 4 possible for this hero.
I think in this game it's the second best. I think the best one is Outworld Staff.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Can't
in
have
general, yes. This is the best.
Alright, well, no one. Yeah, definitely holding on to his money for this buyback. For this eventual push. This next 3 minutes that Falcons have to work with.
He got his 25 as well. P-Vision, despite being 27k down, are starting to have a lot of damage, as a matter of fact. So now Jug is almost 6 slotted. The Storm 25 is a massive improvement. You got 2 Supernovas. The main problem is that your supports offer so little. I mean, look at the pitiful networks in this breakdown. It's kind of unreal just how far behind they are compared to their counterparts. So they don't offer that much. The cores, even with this deficit, I feel like can put up a fight, but can you protect the supports? If they die first, the game might just end. 25
there it is.
On a mark.
There it is. Aghanim Scepter for no one. Blue Hole ready to go. He has 2,500 in the bank. So buyback still intact. Skater now. They have the 1 lane. He's going to take the electric board. Has a lot of damage. Actually, he's dead. That's life number 1. Falcons need to be ready. Rolling Thunder coming. Mallory misses the Burrow Strike. Gets the Epicenter off though. Satanic. Easily the upper clear. It's a beautiful edge just in time. But what they kill on the edge. Double kill for Skeeter. And now the pressure applies to Satanic. He gets off the big Omni Slash. Actually kills off Mallory on the other side of the screen. Somehow a huge blue hole onto 2. And somehow P-Vision is defending. Snakey goes down to the blade for Amar. The last remaining member of Falcons will TP out. Some way, somehow, P-Vision defense.
There's your damage.
That bounce on the Omni Slash was absurd. He doesn't have a blink dagger, so I thought for a second that he blinked after Omni Slashing. That was very fortuitous for Satanic.
I think seeing that, maybe no one should buy his shard too. Like, just full on, jump in, pop everything, just blast them before they can even react. That's scary stuff. I mean, look at this first kill.
Yeah, they kill him.
So, this is without using Swift Flash. It's just attacks. I think Falcons just did not expect the damage to come out so fast. Malreen is stunning heroes that aren't in the game there.
They did kill off the egg really quickly, but the buyback obviously helping out big time. Look at this jump. Look at this jump. On all the creeps, they're fortified. That is crazy. And the blue hole to finish the job.
I will say, though, in this situation, Falcons did actually not use their Outworld Staffs all that well. Malreen used it outside of the Omnislash, and then when it came toward him in the end, he had it on cooldown. Trying to use it in anticipation, perhaps, of Satanic going for him, you have to hold it. You have to wait and try to clutch it up. But there's so much to keep track of in these fights. Got to be careful you don't waste it. But what a hold. P-Vision now Satanic is going to get that refresher soon. He has the gold for it. Might just send his Ags first into a blessing. How much is he missing for that and buyback? It can't be more than like 2,000, which sounds like a lot, but really isn't at 48 minutes. It's quick to farm. This game is...
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a good one now.
This is pretty close, honestly. 16k lead, I think it's largely inconsequential because the 16k lead for the most part is sitting on the supports, and in spite of not having those big items on the supports, they're still getting their spells off every fight. Ducalis has good positioning, they get off every single hookshot call combination. 9 class manages to find impact with very little. And now if you're Falcons, do you understand the game state is the other thing. You're playing a lot on feel in these late game scenarios. You probably felt like you had a big lead. Now you lost the fight. What's the read? Is it we need to farm more? We have to get to our next set. We have to get Roche. And conversely for P-Vision, maybe you feel like, okay, we're actually strong enough to fight head on now. We're going to contest the next Roche on for once.
Who thinks P-Vision is going to go to the grand finals? All right. And how about Falcons? All right. Slightly Falcons favored, I'd say, in terms of crowd. But I agree. This is, I mean, the buyback for the Phoenix was a very big deal, but the game has slowed down dramatically now.
It feels like you can buy the time for the next buybacks now.
Yes.
Which is the big deal. Because you're looking at this Phoenix, and yes, there's room to grow, but essentially for the key part of this game, DM has everything he needs until the game is over. He has 2 Shivas, 2 refreshers, 2 ultis, and almost level 25. Everything after this, it's nice, but it's not necessary. Having Hex could be cool, but...
The Aghanim Scepter is kind of crazy, isn't it?
It's also risky. You saw how quickly they killed the egg.
That's true.
You might not want to pull a Toronto-Tokyo. Of course, there's that very famous clip with Knights.
Oh, yeah.
Basically killed him and lost the game. That was rough. That's one of those things that's not easy to bounce back from, but they're still teammates. So yeah, I suppose.
So, looking at Skeeter, I mean, I don't even know what you can do here. You replace your boots, I suppose. He looks like he's going for Manta style, so to try to mitigate a little bit of the Omni Slash.
Generate more targets for Jug.
Alright, I know we're not there yet, but I have to ask a question. Tier 5 items, do you keep the Hourglass? I'm not kidding.
You get Helm of the Undying if you get on.
Well, okay. Well, sure. If you're going to get something completely broken, obviously.
Yeah. Maybe you replace it for Sister Shroud.
Oh, yeah. That's the classic.
I think it's better than some tier 5s in this game. But I would say, let's see. It's depending on the hero, you definitely want to get the Helm of the Undying. I think on all of them over it.
Yep, of course.
Aside from that, Fallen Sky can effectively perform the same function, right? So that's also a nice replacement. Book of the Dead, more trash for Jug to jump on.
True.
I mean, you laugh, but he's queuing up Manta. That's the only reason.
That is true. Smokes on both sides. And this, from Malrine, another rune about to come. It will be
Arcane.
No one Arcane. Oh boy, he's going to start this out right off the bat onto the Safety. Sunray applied as well. Will burrow to the high ground. Gets cookies for safety's sake. Now, the roll was actually very deep for Amar, but doesn't look Falcons want to pursue. They have that mid lane, and no one
onto him.
He is. He's getting low on mana right now. There's the epicenter burst combination. Mallory is coming in, gets the flash as well. This is up there. He sits away it out. Out of mana. On the line. Famora skits with the face edict will heal him. And now he is going to be A-OK. Can P-Vision now turn the tide onto Falcons instead? 9 class. Running up front, gets the cogs onto Snake King. Bounce left, right, and center. But Bambi gets away safely.
Oh, that was really close for no one. He gets saved by the Fate's Edict. He gets a big Lotus as well, if not 2. That transfusion really helping, but nobody dying in that exchange.
Amar, it's the back into the abyss. So the Fate's Edict applied. Now there's 3 members of P-Vision nearby. He uses the Swift Slash. Satanic still with his ult available. Has the refresher as well. They're going to back away. This is super tense. And now an Abyssal Blade finished from Malrine. They just want to bash, bash, bash Satanic.
It is so hard for Satanic to use his spells correctly. He's playing into, let's see how it's that, 3 Ghost Sifters, 2 Lotuses, and 3 Outlaw stats. Like, how do you use your spells reliably unless you use some stunned target? The risk-reward.
Yeah, those Lotus reflects can be
crazy.
brutal.
Now with the refresh and the blink, perhaps he can just brute force his way into it.
Roshan, a huge belch that everybody can hear as T-Vision attracted to the sound. Yeah, Battle Fury has been backpacked finally. As the Blink Dagger will eventually be a Swift Blink, but obviously wants to keep
Trying for the rune here, Satanic.
It is a haste top, so nothing super consequential at this stage of the game. 3 gems in the game right now as well.
So it's 2 Abyssals as well on the Dire side, so 2 times the lockdown in attempts to kill Jug. Effectively, their entire itemization is against 1 hero.
That's true, they have Oracle. So they know the runes.
That's a lot to keep track of.
How dare you forget such a thing?
A lot to keep track of in Pro Dota. Well, you say, how did I forget? It was Jug who went for it.
Yeah, no, I know. That's the ironic part.
How did he forget?
55 minutes in, smoke from P-Vision. They scan out as well, so they know Falcon's location. It's making a very good frontliner for a support.
Yep. Feels like an item that we could have seen in this game was Wind Waker.
Yeah, for sure.
There has been 0 of them purchased yet. And I don't think you have to worry all that much about the Oracle Purge, because he's going to backline a lot onto Collis. It's not easy to get in for the offensive Purge. But nobody's queuing it up. Jump in.
Oh, that's a big obvious. That's a lot of damage. Down goes Peter. Fights back, but there's even a play now on the side. Sebastian backs him again. Someone is dead to Malrine now. Amar doing so much work in this fight. They're not going to buy back up. Convict Peter. Satanic in quite a bit of trouble. Will pop the Blade Fury, getting healed up. They'll be able to get out of dodge as a result. They lose 2, buyback on 1. That was a huge kill on the Skeeter. Obviously, he had buyback available, but doesn't want to expend it unless he needs to. Can P-Vision try to force a fight? Crit.
Honestly,
spotted high ground.
Icy Veins not buying back there. A really tense moment. I feel like a lot of players just insta-click the buyback and take the fight, but stays patient. However,
P-Vision
a big
actually
grab.
gets it. Yes. If it's scouted by Falcons, does Skeeter buy back? It's already at half health. They're running out of time here. There's a lot of shit inside Roche.
Yeah,
Glass,
known to be
giving some
constipated.
vision. Oh yeah, he's big time. He's about to blow. Snaking. Gonna get some vision. Gonna get his heal off to start things out. Gets the vision back. Satanic gets the Roche. There's still goodies inside. As the Epicenter's about to come, I believe. Amar with the rolling thunder. Stuck inside the cog. The DM pops the refresher. Nighttime goes inside the pit. Uses the shard to get out. So in the end, they do get all the goodies from Roche as P-Vision. Despite being down and out, it felt like early on. Now, quite possibly might be at an advantage, despite being 20k down. Do have to worry about this mid lane, though, at all times.
Do not believe the graph. It is lying to you. This is not 84% dire.
Are you kidding?
I refuse to believe that they're a 6-1 favorite in this game. This feels like a 50-50 to me. Man, that is crazy.
Maybe he has brain lag. Few minutes behind.
15 maybe, 20. No one is going to get the refresher shard from that Roche, so now this next fight, the amount of artillery that P-Vision have is insane. It could become a little bit problematic here for Falcons to defend their primary targets at this point. When the damage is getting this crazy, you don't have a hardcore, reliable save like the Oracle Shadow Demon, you know, something like this. You've got a cookie, which is nice and all. But the damage is going to be quick, and this makes it even worse. Perfect rune for Satanic now.
Oh my god.
The amp damage. You've got to look for trouble here, surely. You've got 3 minutes on the Aegis, the double damage in your bottle. Holy jeez. You just need to see anyone and jump them with a stun, and they just die in the blink of an eye.
Satanic running out of slots. Has the bottle, of course, that he will use soon enough. MKB or Manta will take its place. Still going for, it actually changes Abyssal to a Moon Shard.
Yeah. Okay. No bash. That could have gone spicy.
Yeah,
Has the travels 2 now, so he can deal with bottom and still connect to an eventual fight. And Juggernaut seems like a pretty safe travels 2 target in this game. He has not been burst really a single time. With the protection that they have from the Oracle, it's difficult for Falcons to pierce.
Final tier 2 of the... Well, actually, no, there's a tier 2 top still, despite Falcons having the lane advantage right now.
They're spilling out bottom. And then TPing back. A strategic move like we've never seen before. Unbelievable.
We are 30 seconds away. I've been waiting the entire main event for this, Cinderin.
Mm-hmm.
The tier 5s are coming. Can we get some tier 5 cheers in the crowd?
Who loves Sister Shroud? Okay, good.
Very, very educated crowd
That's
here.
all I wanted to hear. That's great.
Cinderin will not be happy with that until it is literally deleted. I know you.
That's the thing about Dota players, though. Everybody hates or dislikes something.
Skeeter,
the game has everything.
Yeah. Skeeter buys the Midas so he can get a guaranteed neutral.
But fortunately, we love way more. Isn't that right, Shannon?
That's right.
We love the cart.
Oh, man. Let's
And
talk
the
about
love,
Centaur's
the
cart
love
right
is
now.
bigger than anything you would dislike.
Ally and the cart.
Yep,
Man.
that's right.
Neither of those heroes in this game, of course.
That doesn't matter.
All right, how many Helm of the Undyings are we going to see?
Oh, yeah. That's honestly, that might be the story of this late game. It's so good for both teams, shockingly. Yes, it is good.
Oh, my
But
God.
against Jug.
Satanic gets Helm.
Yeah, but what do you
He's thinking about it. Oh, he goes for Stygian. Okay, very, very confident young man.
Audacious Stygian is a lot of damage.
It is.
It is a lot. Unrelenting Eye.
Oh, interesting. Fallen Sky for DM.
So more status resist for every enemy hero within 600 units, just trying to not get comboed, I suppose, on the Storm.
Yeah, I think Unrelenting Eye is definitely an underrated tier 5. It doesn't sound all that sexy, but it's got to be good. It's just Helm of the Undying, though. It's super crazy.
Okay, who can craft? Ench, Gyro, Sand King. Okay, all 5 of them on Falcons have crafts ready.
Do they keep the Outworld staff? Another Stygian. So Skeeter
Malrine
and
as well.
Malrine go Stygian.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Amar cannot choose. He cannot choose the Helm. We see the book on Snap.
All right.
Arguably, maybe the least impactful one they can get because the spells that Snaking offers after dying are.
Yeah, another Helm of the
That's
Undying
critical.
for 9 class. So 2 supports have it.
This is a game where recrafting could become a real thing, though.
Well, full smoke from Falcons. They have 5 out of 5 tier 5s. They're not going to find any opening, though, unless they want to go straight for the base, which is obviously quite the risk. Well, maybe an opening onto the clockwork. Snaking, going to be blocked off by the shards, though. BKB already popped from no one, applying all the pressure he can to Malrine, but he's able to get access fine. Satanic already used the false promise on him. He's going to put down the healing ward. Feels like a win for Falcons in terms of that small engagement. 9 classical homing missiles, Swashbuckle to follow. That's a lot of damage from Amar. Using that ult as well, right on top of him. He's dead. Oh, my Helm of the Dying there with Malrine. Gets out there, and the Burrow Strike onto the Phoenix. Can they get the stun lock? Can they get the egg on? Yes, he does with the stun ray to follow. Do they have the damage to get through? Do they have the right to finish off? Bang on his last one. The egg is killed. Fire out. The reflected load egg. And Skeeter now. They have the numbers. They have the numbers on this Satanic, and he's dead. Has the buyback, though.
Oh my
DM
god, I think
has
he
another
misclicked.
egg at his disposal.
I think he misclicked. He swift slashed the Lotus first, and then he omni slashed the same target. I think so, at least. I mean, it's hard to keep track of everything in those fights, but they both definitely got reflected back to back. Satanic stuck in an anime team fight loop. Nobody died.
No one. Oh, no one. Able to zip out. They have the buyback on Satanic. They do not have one on 9 class, though. Making likely to hold on to his, as this is the second lane now for Falcons. Not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. We are 64 minutes.
Just never went for it.
Better
Now
late
it's
than
time to
never.
strike. They really want this buyback out of Satanic.
Oh, 100%. The buyback. Oh, my God, this is the buyback for DM, and no one has any control. He played a 5. He's dead, too. Has the buyback in tow. Satanic has to scurry back to base. Has the Rolling Thunder applying to the call with a fucking BKB on Oracle, for God's sake. It's 64 minutes in. No one. Going to force everybody else back. The Falcons, they're actually going to live on most of these members. Satanic looking for a target. E-Blade now. There's the Hex. The Mount Raid is going to be able to get back, though. Gets the Burrow to the low ground. 9 class. Doesn't have hook shot up. Speeder blocking the way. Going to get blocked by the Cogs. 45k net worthing for Falcons. Another E on this process. 9 class onto the high ground. He's stuck up here now. Oh no, he's dead. Held with the undying activates the no one completely out of it. Oh my god. That's Satanic trying to get away. Only 2 members up. Actually, he's the lone member. Gets off the arm slash at the last moment. But the Ghost Blades are too much. He cannot get through them. No nullifier. Now trying to circle back to his fountain. He's the last remaining member of T-Vision. Gets stunned up and now in the fountain. Falcons have everybody alive. As now Satanic buying the BKB for one last hurrah. Goes in for the back. That is a lot of damage, but now the E-Blade keeping him alive. Omni Slash reflected. He's going to be dead. Satanic is down and out. And that leaves Falcons, who'll be going to the grand